Welcome, everybody, to Law&Crime Daily. I'm Jesse Weber. Megan Thee Stallion testified in court that fellow rapper Tory Lanez offered her $1 million to not report him to police for allegedly shooting her. But the woman who Lanez says was the actual shooter may have just thrown a wrench in the case with her testimony, or maybe I should say lack thereof. Now, Megan Thee Stallion was in a Los Angeles courtroom Tuesday as part of the assault trial against Lanez. The prosecution maintains that Megan, Lanez, and Megan's former friend Kelsey Harris were in a car after a get-together at Kylie Jenner's house when there was some sort of argument. When she got out of the car, Megan claimed she heard Lanez tell her to dance and saw the gun in his hand. Either bullets or shrapnel hit her in the foot. On the stand, Megan was emotional, saying that the aftermath of the shooting included backlash against her on social media and from the rap industry, and that this has been very difficult for her. Now, on the other side, Lanez says it was actually Kelsey who fired the gun, and he's being set up. But in a new twist, Kelsey was given immunity by prosecutors after invoking her Fifth Amendment right while on the stand. And during her testimony, she decided not to answer crucial questions about the case. So I want to bring in my co-host and defense attorney, Brian Buckmeyer. Brian, this has all just happened before the lunch break in the West Coast case. What is going on right now?
Jesse, Kelsey Harris was asked when Tory threatened to shoot you exactly what did Tory say, but she wouldn't answer, instead pleading the Fifth multiple times before the judge let the jury out to go for lunch. Pleading the Fifth is everyone's right, and Kelsey Harris is welcome to use it without it being held against her, especially considering she has immunity. But it can be used as evidence or lack thereof in asking whether or not Tory Lanez is guilty of the crimes he is charged with. And this does not look good for the prosecution. If Harris is pleading the Fifth and the judge is allowing it, then Harris's attorney must have been able to explain to the judge that there's some potential crime that she could be admitting to. Now, she has immunity, which was given to her pretty easily. That might explain something to the jury, but this is their star witness, and it looks like it's falling apart.
Yeah, let me bring in co-host and former trial attorney Terry Austin on this. So, Terry, based on what we've heard so far, what's your theory about who actually shot Megan Thee Stallion or shot at Megan Thee Stallion?
You know, at first I really thought it was Tory Lanez, and she said she saw him shoot at her. But now we have Kelsey, who's on the stand, and she has immunity, and yet she's not saying whether it was she who shot that gun. So it's unclear to me whether or not Lanez shot the gun, whether or not Kelsey shot the gun, and if she really does want to protect herself, then she is protected with this immunity agreement. She can go ahead and say, look, it was me, I did it, but she is not saying that. So I'm a little bit confused at this point. I'm not sure. I think we have to see more evidence, and in fact, I think no matter what anybody says, whose gun was that and whose bullet was it?
I thought the whole case itself had a lot of drama. Who knew that this was going to happen in a courtroom? It's just an unpredictable, complicated aspect about it. And I should tell you, this case, which has been more than 2 years in the making, is getting a lot of attention on social media, especially among journalists, music journalists, and fans. People came out to the courthouse to show their support for Megan Thee Stallion.
People of color being victims of domestic violence, they are often villainized. It's not right, and it's unfortunate because there is no perfect victim per se at the end of the day. If you are a strong person and you have a voice and you stand up for yourself and you stand up for your boundaries, you're villainized. So our job is to stand with survivors. We're here to make sure that survivors know that they have a voice, they have an opportunity to come forward, and it's really scary to do so.
All right, so this is a case that's going to leave people divided. We move now to an update for you in Moscow, Idaho. A gas station attendant may have spotted the white car that police have been looking for in connection to a quadruple stabbing. The clerk gave this still image to Fox News, saying that she had some downtime during her shift, so she looked at surveillance video from the store's cameras from November 13th. Now, that is the night that 4 University of Idaho students sleeping in the same home were stabbed to death. Police put out the call that they were looking for a white Hyundai Elantra because the person might have seen something important. Many people, from parents to students to online amateur sleuths, are demanding more answers from Moscow police. But a former homicide detective that we spoke to says this is just how investigations work.
In terms of how far they have progressed in that investigation, there are so many aspects of that we don't know. And there are so many aspects of it that we don't, at this point, when I say we, I'm talking about the general public, of course, don't need to know. We don't need to know those things because they may inadvertently compromise the integrity of that investigation. And I know that's kind of the typical response when any agency is just mercilessly beaten up with questions about where are you, what are you doing, what have you done, and that kind of thing. But that is the proper response. It becomes a problem because we live in a fast food world, and we expect those things to happen in that manner. And the reality is that these cases don't get solved in 43 minutes with no commercials.
It's a good point. Just don't know if it's going to temper people's frustrations or answers. Well, Tuesday marked 1 month since the murders, and Moscow police leadership have been very candid at times with the public, and Police Captain Roger Lanier took the opportunity to share what he heard and saw when he first got to the scene.
The scene wasn't chaos, the neighborhood, but it was very, very somber. Like I said, that is a community of college students that live over there. Many of them, through word of mouth, knew what had happened. They were standing outside. There was a lot of crying. There were friends trying to find out who exactly was inside the house. Some family members that arrived on scene. It was incredibly hard for the community, but it was also really, really hard on our officers, some of whom were very young, and that was the first real major crime scene that they had encountered. So emotionally, it was a very, very draining day.
Well, NFTs are back in the spotlight thanks to a class action lawsuit filed against Yuga Labs. It's a cryptocurrency startup, and also dozens of A-list celebrities. The plaintiffs allege that superstars like Justin Bieber, Madonna, Jimmy Fallon, and Kevin Hart all promoted the company's Bored Ape Yacht Club. It's a collection of online art that features, well, you guessed it, bored-looking apes. Now, one of the big selling points for the Bored Ape Yacht Club was that it was very exclusive and that multiple celebrities are members too. But the lawsuit says dozens of celebrities promoted the digital assets, generating billions of dollars in sales and resales of NFTs without revealing that Yuga Labs was paying them for their endorsement. So we asked an internet and technology attorney, who's to blame in this kind of situation?
When a celebrity is being brought on as an ambassador or as somebody who's going to be endorsing a product or a service, of course they have to do their due diligence. But at the same time, it's also the companies that are bringing them on, they have to be transparent about, hey, we're bringing on this person, and yes, we are paying them. And hopefully the celebrity, the talent, is being honest with their community, right? About, hey, look, we are getting paid to promote this. And hopefully within that, they understand what it is that they're promoting.
Terry, we've got some really big-name celebrities here. With many of us living so much of our lives online, civil cases like this really could become more common, right?
Oh, absolutely. I think we are going to see a lot more cases like this. Look, everyone is buying and selling products online. NFTs are becoming more and more popular because of that. NFT actually stands for non-fungible token. It turns your online asset into an exclusive product with a unique digital code that verifies the asset and traces every single transaction involving that asset. It's similar to a patent given by the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. In this case, the NFTs were used to certify the Bored Ape artwork. No one's claiming that the artwork is not real. Essentially, what the plaintiffs are claiming here is that the value of the artwork was inflated by the celebrity endorsements who, first of all, knew nothing about the product and who did not invest in the product and who basically failed to fully disclose any payments that they got because they endorsed it. You know, we also asked our expert if celebrities will now think twice about giving these types of endorsements. He said absolutely they're going to think twice about it because they don't want to get sued. You know what? The bottom line is that everyone, whether you're a celebrity or not, you have to do your due diligence. You have to be more careful before you buy or endorse any product.
Terry, I will tell you that is the best explanation I've heard about what an NFT is, because I was still confused as what it was. Brian, how bad is this looking for celebrities being sued for promoting crypto?
Yeah, Jesse, first, this is the first time I've understood NFTs since it first came out. But looking at some of the celebrities who were sued in the past, Kim Kardashian actually just won a similar case with Aretha Max because the plaintiff in the case couldn't prove that individuals actually watched the commercials attached to these NFTs in order to actually have them buy more. So while it might seem pretty straightforward, did you promote this NFT without giving this disclaimer, there does seem to be some wiggle room in terms of litigation here where there may be arguments that could be made to say, hey, I wasn't a direct influence, you were influenced by this, you don't know whether or not you saw my commercial or you haven't pled so. In the Aretha Max case, they might replead that case and come forward again, but there does seem to be a light at the end of the tunnel for some of these cases.
NFTs, SBF, FTX. Is anybody wondering why we're all confused? Terry, Brian, thanks so much as always. Everyone out there, thanks for joining us here on Law&Crime Daily. We will see you next time as we discuss justice in America.